Welcome to Design Cluster. So I'm just going to go through this workbook with you guys. Here we've got the 2 units that you're doing, design and develop learning programs and use training packages and accredited courses to meet client needs. What are we doing for these units? Great question. So you're going to be creating 2 learning programs. They need to be based on units, 1 or more, each one, and they have to be based on different units. So that's 2 different learning programs. All right. So it's different context, a different cohort of people. Industry must be consulted. What that means is basically you need to do a training needs analysis. Now, I've got a template for you guys that I picked up from the VET standard over in Queensland, and you'll see it there as you go through the course. You can use that, or just use the design manual. It does talk about training needs analysis. Just do a find search in the manual and look up TNA or training needs analysis, and there's a little bit of a read there. Now, so your training needs analysis, which is your industry consultation, okay, is this bit here. What is expected. So this industry consultation form. That can be a report. It can be you filling in that little template that's there. Now, this can be real or simulated, all right? So you might be someone who wants to use this opportunity to actually create something for your workplace, and we have a lot of people that want to do that, and that's fantastic. So let's not just waste our time here. Let's create something real. That's great. Fill it in as though you've been obviously talking to your boss, or you've been talking to your staff, and that's the kind of information that we want to capture. All you really want to show is that you've got some intellect from industry. Okay, so put it in print off some emails that maybe have been going back and forth, or type it out that says, hey, this is what's going on in my workplace, this is my exact workplace, this is what's going on, this is the needs that need to be met, this is the gap that's found. We're going to use this particular unit to do that, and that's the documentation of it. So you can use a template, or you can just write up a little report, or just put together some evidence that shows you actually know what's going on in your workplace, or if you're doing a simulated concept, that if it was a real situation, this is what it would be like. So you're showing your knowledge, you're showing your skills that you know what to do. For example, at work here, for me, obviously my consultation is through our Believe at nct.net.au account, and we go out and we send out emails to our client base. So we're getting constant feedback from schools and different people that we do work with that's saying, this is what's going on, this is what we need. I'm also chatting to my manager, and I chat to my students as they come through and find out, is this program what you're looking for, or isn't it? And that's all part of this concept. So it is a real life thing, and we want it to make it as real as possible, and then just finding a document to chuck it in, okay? Now, let's go through. So that's kind of the first bit, is finding out what it's all about. Then you need to unpack. I did a video, it's a clustering, just in case you're doing 2 units, but it's the same thing if you're using 1 or 2 units. So it's a video that talks about how to unpack. And when you do this, I actually want you to scribble on your units. So you need to print out your units and scribble on them your ideas. What's session 1? What's session 2? I need evidence of you actually thinking about this, and if it's not on the actual unit, maybe you have a piece of paper that you're scribbling your ideas down on what you might do for your first session, your second session, and that sort of thing, okay? Once you figure that out, you're also going to be looking at the safety aspect of your learning program, and you're going to be filling in what's called a risk control plan. It's all explained. You can take a look at the manual. There's a template there for you, and you'll do that for each one of your programs. All right. Now, I did a little checklist, this sort of step-by-step thing. Just if you've never done one before, or you think you maybe just want to see a different way of doing it or whatever, this is one way of thinking about it. You can kind of go through and do it this way. Maybe use this as your checklist to say, oh, that's I've completed for my first learning program, I have for my second, if you find that to be helpful. But it's not the only way to create a learning program, okay? If you've got your own way, that's cool. You don't need to use that next page. That's just an extra thing there in case that's helpful to some of you. Cool, so there are templates available and a manual available. If you have your own templates, if you've created your own learning programs, fantastic. You don't have to use the templates. You just need to make sure that your template includes all the criteria that needs to be met. And that criteria is here. So the expectation is this is your assessment criteria, all in here, along here. So your learning program, this all needs to be in there somewhere, okay? This needs to be in your risk control plan. So if you have your own risk control plan, great. You can use our templates or use your own. And then here's some extra evidence. So this is just extra stuff, right? So I'll need that unpacking. And unpacking comes to not just your ideas on how to do the sessions, but also how you might assess that unit or those units. Chunking it, sequencing it, looking at the packaging rules, if that's applicable, and that sort of thing. So, print this stuff off or start saving these documents on your desktop, and this extra evidence is stuff you're going to give to me to prove that, yes, you've done the work, it's authentically your work, yes, you have a thought process, and you can prove that. And that's it, guys, really. So after you do it, we'll have a bit of a chat, so we'll just organize a phone conversation. Here's all the questions I'm going to ask you, and this is just going to give me some knowledge that I'm going to need from you, and also just some authenticity to make sure that it was actually you doing the work and that sort of thing. So there's 14 questions we'll go through, and that's it. Here's a couple little extra hot tips I give you, and you can go ahead and take a look through that. So there is your design workbook. It's very simple. You're designing 2 learning programs. And that's it, guys. 2 learning programs with 2 risk control plans. You've got the manual, you've got the templates, you've got some videos. If you've got any questions, give me a holler. Best of luck. Have fun.